In today's video, you're going to learn about the 2 barriers that are preventing you from achieving your poker goals. Hey guys, it's Poker Mindset Performance Coach Adam Conwell here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 2 barriers that could be in your way from reaching your full potential and achieving your poker goals. Now, one of my favorite books all time is Principles by Ray Dalio. Now, Ray Dalio is a hedge fund manager for one of the largest hedge funds in the world, and he wrote a book called Principles, Life and Work, where he shares his knowledge and insights on how to deal with situations and build principles for life. Now, I want to share with you one of the concepts I learned from this book and how it applies to poker and reaching your full potential. So he talks about in order to reach your goals, you need to be able to overcome 2 barriers. And I'm going to show how this applies to poker very specifically. So the first of those barriers is your ego barrier. And your ego barrier is the need to be right over the need to see what's true. And we all have an ego to some degree, but those who have a bigger ego or can't get past their ego barrier aren't able to learn and grow at the right rate. So you've got to be able to put that ego barrier aside. So what is the ego barrier? How does it play out? So like I said, it's the need to be right over to see what's true. So let's use a poker example to show how this plays out in real time and how if you could put the ego barrier aside, you'd be able to learn more and find out what's true. So let's say player A and player B completely disagree on how to play a spot. One says it should be 100% c-bet, the other player said it should be 100% check-back. Now how would that generally play out? Player A would generally be like, I'm right, and this is why, because of all these reasons. And player B would be like, no, you're wrong, I'm right because of all these reasons. And they'd probably end the conversation with, okay, I disagree with you, I play it this way, I'm right, you're wrong. And the whole conversation would be about who's right and who's wrong. And that's the ego, that's trying to protect your viewpoints. But what if we put the ego to one side? What if we went, okay, forget the ego barrier, let's actually try and find out what's true. And instead of using the disagreement as something to clash on, why don't we use it as a trigger to try and find out what's true? Why don't we ask the question, oh, we disagree, why don't we try and find out why we disagree and who's more likely to be right? Would that not be a more constructive way to do it? Yes, it would. So how do you do that? Player A would basically state all the reasons why he plays the hand this way. So he would go, I play the hand this way because of all these reasons. He wouldn't say that the player was wrong, he would just say, I do it this way because of these reasons. Player B would then have a turn and say, I play the hand this way because of these reasons. Now they would be able to see how the other person thinks about it, and they could be open and curious to learn from the other person. If you were curious, you might go, okay, well if you're playing this way, I'm playing it this way, how does a solver look? What does a solver play the hand like? So we've got a framework of what a GTO solution would look like. Then you might ask a friend to go, okay, we still disagree on a few things, on most things. How does a player that we both respect think about this situation? And what you're doing here is you're getting past you need to be right and you're searching for what's true. And this is so key in poker and it's so key in life. We need to get past the need to be right and we need to always be seeking opinions that are opposite of ours and how we can use them to get a better perspective. So what's going to happen here is you will get a better perspective of how to play the situation, even if you don't change your mind. You might still go for the same betting approach after the conversation, but you haven't approached it from an angle of right and wrong. You've tried to see what's true. And then when you go to that angle, you explore options and you can learn so much more. And I see in poker, most players aren't willing to be wrong so that they can learn. They'd rather be right and not learn from that. So if you guys got any ego barriers, be aware that's holding back your learning and just think, why don't I seek what's true rather than seeking what's right? All right, the second barrier, you've got the blind spot barrier. So this is, we don't know what we don't know. We've all got weaknesses, we've all got blind spots, we've all got things that we're not good at, and unfortunately, a lot of time we're not aware of it, hence it's a blind spot. So we often need other people to view our situation from an outside lens and highlight what our blind spots are because we can't see them for ourselves. So this means triangulating ideas with other people, it means asking people's opinions, it means getting people to give an honest feedback on you, assessment of you as a person, your past potential weaknesses. It's about seeking coaches and mentors who can give you a better perspective of things you're doing. It's about always getting a different lens that you can look from and not trying to figure out everything for yourself. Nobody's good enough to figure out everything for themselves. Just gonna put that out there. We all need other people's opinions, other people's ideas in order to get past our blind spots and to get better. So if you have blind spots and someone highlights a blind spot to you, but you've got an ego barrier, you will not be willing to take on that information. So you'll be like, oh, why is this guy attacking me? Why is he trying to critique the way I play or the way I act? and the ego barrier would stop you from learning. So even if you've got someone highlighting your blind spots, you still need to put the ego barrier aside in order to keep learning and keep growing. So think about this in your own life. Is there any situations or any parts of you where you feel like, in that situation, I've got a strong ego barrier because I always need to be right rather than learn? And is there potentially some blind spots that you've got that you're not looking to find? So if you haven't got anyone in your life who's acting as a mentor or a coach or viewing you from an outside lens, or even friends who are there to speak with and kind of correct you on stuff, you're going to have lots of blind spots that you can't see. So your job is to put the ego aside, search for people who can actually give you the advice and the kind of guidance that you need, and highlight your blind spots. Then you need to put the ego barrier aside and find a way to pass your blind spots and pass your weaknesses in order to get better. So hope this gives you some food for thoughts, guys. I know I've got my own ego barriers, my own blind spots that I still got to work through. I'm sure you guys can relate to this. Now let me know in the comments which one you guys struggle with most. Is it the ego barrier, you always want to be right? Or is it the blind spot barrier, you don't know what your weaknesses are, so you can't move forward? Be really interested to hear that in the comments. Now if you enjoyed this video, there's a great chance you're going to like my free training video on how to be unstoppable in poker and in life. I'll put a link in the description that you can click and download, and that'll go straight to you. Thanks for watching, guys. There's going to be plenty more coming from me very soon.